Welcome back to another Explainer, everyone. Today, we're zeroing in on one of the most intensely debated, heavily scrutinized, and just utterly mysterious locations on the entire planet. Deep in the remote stretches of the Nevada desert, there is a place that the United States government flat out denied even existed for decades. We're talking about a facility wrapped in layers of insane security, whispered rumors, and this undeniable aura of the unknown. So we're going to unpack the whole shebang. The verified facts, the explosive claims, and the actual historical timeline of the most secretive place on Earth. Let's get into it. So, what actually hides inside Area 51? I mean, it's the ultimate question, right? It's driven researchers, journalists, and everyday enthusiasts absolutely crazy for over half a century. Is this heavily guarded patch of dirt simply the ultimate testing ground for next-generation top-secret military aircraft? Or does it hold something far more extraordinary, like maybe recovered alien technology, extraterrestrial biology, or honestly, the single biggest government conspiracy ever orchestrated? Well, that is exactly what we're here to explore today.
Section 1, the desert's darkest secret.
Okay, let's dive right into this. To truly understand this mystery, we've got to start with the geography, and really, the profound isolation of the base itself. Area 51 isn't just a regular building with a chain-link fence. It's a sprawling, highly classified military installation hidden completely out of public view behind rugged mountains and heavily armed guards. And when it comes to this isolated base, we're essentially dealing with two completely separate realities. On one hand, you have the official historical record. The government stance is that Area 51 was built in the 1950s for a very practical purpose, testing highly classified aircraft during the incredibly tense years of the Cold War. But on the other hand, you have the public rumors. For decades, a massive segment of the public has maintained that something far darker and way more profound is hidden there, specifically the remains of crashed alien spacecraft and literally the secrets of the universe itself.
Section 2, Roswell and alien rumors.
We really cannot talk about Area 51 without talking about the origin of these extraterrestrial rumors. The lore of Area 51 is deeply tied to the famous 1947 Roswell incident, which is where the public imagination first really ignited with the idea of recovered extraterrestrial bodies. And to understand the sheer scale of these secrets, we have to look at how long they've been brewing. It all kicks off in 1947 with Roswell. Then, shortly after, in the 1950s, Area 51 is officially built, and almost immediately, a massive wave of UFO sightings begins in the surrounding areas. Decades later, our timeline jumps to a watershed moment in 1989, when Bob Lazar steps forward with explosive claims that completely change the conspiracy landscape forever.
During those middle decades, this really common belief started to spread like wildfire. People trying to get close to the base, or just living in the surrounding Nevada towns, began reporting mysterious flying objects. And they weren't just seeing planes, They were reporting lights moving at physically impossible speeds, executing maneuvers that completely defied the laws of aerodynamics. This birthed the massive conspiracy theory that these weren't normal aircraft at all, but rather recovered alien technology being tested in the dead of night.
Section 3. The Bob Lazar claims. For years, all of this was just rumor, blurry photographs, and local desert legends, right? The government maintained absolute total silence. But then came 1989. This was the year a man named Bob Lazar stepped out of the shadows, did a televised interview, and completely shocked the world. I mean, the conspiracy went incredibly viral, and this was way before the internet. The public reaction was fiercely divided. Many people absolutely believed his detailed accounts of working inside the military apparatus, while others strongly dismissed him, calling him a total liar who fabricated the whole story. But regardless of where you stand on that, his allegations formed the absolute bedrock of the modern Area 51 mythology. And here is exactly what he claimed. Lazar alleged that he worked at a highly classified facility carved literally into the mountainside just south of Area 51, known as S4. This was supposedly a laboratory where the U.S. government was actively reverse engineering actual alien spacecraft. Lazar claimed he was hired to analyze the propulsion systems of these crafts, which he said utilized technology vastly, unimaginably beyond human understanding or our current scientific capabilities. Which naturally leads us right back to the core of our shared investigation today. What was the government actually hiding? Because their continued refusal to even acknowledge the base's existence during this entire period of intense public scrutiny just threw gas on the fire. Were they hiding alien propulsion systems at S4 like Lazar claimed? Or was this massive wall of silence and secrecy covering up something entirely different, but equally sensitive?
Section 4, Top Secret Cold War Weapons.
And this brilliantly illustrates the military reality behind the mystery. Because as documents have finally been declassified and military historians have dug into the archives, a very grounded but incredibly fascinating reality has emerged from the Nevada desert. Experts now firmly believe, and the military has since confirmed, that Area 51 was the premier testing ground for the most cutting-edge secret weapons projects of the 20th century. This was the birthplace of the U-2 spy plane, which was designed to fly at ultra-high altitudes to photograph the Soviet Union. And it was the testing ground for the SR-71 Blackbird, an absolute engineering marvel capable of flying at 3 times the speed of sound. These were projects that required absolute, total, uncompromising secrecy.
Now, let's connect the dots here for a second. Those strange lights, those impossible speeds, the maneuvers that defied logic in the 1950s and 60s, they may very well have been exactly what the military says they were, these top-secret aircraft. Think about it. If you're a civilian in 1955 and you look up to see a U-2 spy plane catching the reflection of the setting sun at 60,000 feet, an altitude planes simply did not fly at back then, it would absolutely look like a glowing, unearthly orb. The impossible speeds of the Blackbird perfectly account for the reports of strange, non-human craft zipping across the desert sky.
Section 5. An enduring modern mystery.
But even though we now know about the U-2, the SR-71, and the stealth programs, the story doesn't just neatly wrap up there. As we sit here today, the base is still active. The perimeter is still intensely guarded. And crucially, massive volumes of files regarding what went on and what is currently going on at Area 51 remain strictly classified. The government still keeps its cards incredibly close to its chest. Which leaves us with a final, really profound question. Are aliens really hidden beneath the desert sands, waiting to be revealed to the public? Or is Area 51 simply the world's most fiercely guarded, highly successful secret military base, using the shield of alien rumors as a brilliant smokescreen for advanced human engineering? The truth may never be fully known. It really remains one of the greatest mysteries in modern history. And as you walk away from this explainer today, I want you to ask yourself, are some secrets just meant to stay hidden forever? Thank you so much for joining me as we unpacked these sources, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.